Hey, welcome to Flashback Monday, July 2018, with one or two left over from June that we missed the first time around that hadn't come in yet. And this is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-S-T-I-N-A. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy man stuff going on here. And, let's look at this. So, where's my, I just had them. Okay. First book for July 2018. Oh, where's my phone? I had this. I hate when they put the stickers over the, don't you hate when they put the stickers over the thing? And I mentioned this the other day, and they're like, like, let's see. Okay, so, Miss Ashley, we've done her before. Priceless artwork has gone missing from the home of a wealthy baronet, and his wife stands to take the blame. When Kat's employer asks her for help in clearing her friend's name, Kat trades her kitchen for the homes of Mayfair's wealthiest families. Soon, antiques are disappearing not only from the extravagant households of connoisseurs and collectors, but from the illustrious British Museum. As the thefts increase in frequency, Kat calls upon her friend Daniel McAdam, who has already set himself up in a pawn shop on the stand as a CD receiver of stolen goods. When a man is murdered in the shop, Kat must use all of her wits to see that the thieves are caught and justice is done. Go, Kat! Go, Kat! Linda Brody to catch a Texas star. The son of a notorious outlaw, Roan Penny, yearns to make his life count, but heroism comes with a price. Left badly injured, only the kindness of a gentle stranger can save him. He longs to be with the captivating beauty, his savior, his Texas star, his Marley Rose clan, but he knows he'd bring her nothing but trouble if only he could convince her his heart of that. What's it say? Just a little promotional sticker. There we go. Maddie Day! We read the Mackenzie series, the Max series, the Bicycle series. We read that one. But this is Maddie Day over Death Over Easy. June's annual Brown Country Bluegrass Festival at the Bill Monroe Music Park in neighboring Bean Blossom is always a hit for Robbie's Country Store and Cafe. Pans in Pancakes. This year, Robbie is even more excited because she's launching a new bed and breakfast above her shop. A few festival musicians will be among Robbie's first guests, along with her father, Roberto, and his wife, Maria, but the celebration is cut short when a performer is found choked to death by a banjo string. Now all the banjo players are featured in different kind of lineup. To clear their names, Robbie must pair up with an unexpected partner to pick up the clues and find the plucky killer before he can conduct an encore performance. What's the they don't put the she didn't put the other series in here. But it's the Mackenzie's, the Mac Bike Shop. And Alan Hildebrand, the perfect couple. It's Nantucket wedding season known as summer. The sight of a bride racing down Main Street is as common as the sun setting at Maddicket Beach. The Otis Winbury wedding promises to be an event to remember. The groom's wealthy parents have spared no expense to host a lavish ceremony at their oceanfront estate, but it's going to be memorable for all the wrong reasons. After tragedy strikes, the maid of honor is discovered dead in Nantucket Harbor just hours before the ceremony, and everyone in the wedding party is suddenly a suspect. Ooh, sounds like a murder mystery. We usually don't, get murder mysteries in a romance. It's different. Let's do my gal pal here. Now, I'm gonna, well, you'll see it when you'll never guess who I'm reading this week. It'll be revealed when the books disappear. And my co-host is over there giving me the evil eye. Because I'm in the wrong location. If you didn't know, I'm back home. Over here, paranormal. Now, where is it now? Monica McCarty, Off the Grid. Hey, naked guy on the cover. Where have I seen that before? Well, stay to the end and you'll discover. Girls! There's a girl fight. Investigative reporter Brittany Blake may have stumbled upon the mystery of a lifetime in her search for her missing brother when he seemingly disappears overnight. She refuses to accept the Navy's less than satisfying explanation. She begins her own investigation with Lisa True's top secret SEAL teams, covert ops, and a possible cover-up. John Donovan is having trouble biding his time and waiting for his commanding officer to figure out who set up their platoon. John's best friend and Bud's partner, Brendan Blake, was one of those tragically lost in the attack against his team. When Brendan's sister Brittany tracks John looking for answers, he realizes that she may be their best bet for finding answers. Naked guy on the cover. If you haven't seen my my cutesy February video, naked guy on the cover, go check it out. I could never think of a better title than that. Whole bunch of Regency books and other books with naked guys on the cover. You know, naked guy on the cover. Rachel Caine, Smoking Iron. Jess Brightwell and his fellow rebel scholars must now play dangerous games as spies and saboteurs, rebels and resistance fighters from inside the great library itself. With death and betrayal lurking in every shadow, they will need all their knowledge, wits, and courage to survive. Around the world, on land and sea, the resistance grows. In a desperate attempt to save its power, the archivists unleash a dire new weapon, a creation as beautiful as it's terrifying. Something Jess and his friends have seen before and must now fight to the end to save the library from itself. The library. We should read this. I think of Rachel Caine as the weather lady. She did a witch series, and the witch controlled the weather. And I totally think of Rachel Caine as the weather lady. Sorry. I need a big one for the. I'll do that later. Do that later. I need a book for the. Susan Mallory, When We Found Home. Still, Callie Smith doesn't know how to feel when she discovers she has a brother and sister, Malcolm, who grew up in affection, wealth, and privilege, and Kira, a sweet wife's 12-year-old. Callie doesn't love being alone, but at least it's safe. Despite her trepidation, she moves into the grand family home with her siblings and grandfather on the shores of Lake Washington, hoping just maybe this will be the start of a new life. But starting over can be messy. Callie and Kira fight with each other, but not with their posh new lifestyle, leaving Malcolm feeling like the odd man out in his own home. He was clever enough to turn a sleepy Seattle mail-order food catalog into an online gourmet powerhouse, and yet he can't figure out how to help his new sisters feel secure. Becoming a family will take patience, humor, and a little bit of wine and a whole lot of love. Aw. Smoke! You're getting in trouble! BJ Daniels, Rancher's Dream. She's come a long way since the little Harley Quinns. Remember the Harley Quinns from Romantic Times Book Review? Now she's in a hardcover. Ooh, she's moved up. This is the big leagues. Hardcovers. Because I will never be here. I will never, ever, ever be in this league. Although I did compile and transcribe some genealogical materials. HeritageQuest.com. Check it out. The heartbreak and dashed hopes were supposed to be stop hurting when Dre Hunter left Hawk Cahill in the past and married someone else. But when her husband vanishes on their wedding night, leaving her in an ultra-modern, high-tech glass mansion in the mountains, the fairy tale becomes a horror story. Only this real and someone wants Dre dead. We gotta start doing her books. Linda Castillo. We've been talking about them for a very long time. We need to do them. A Gathering of Secrets. When a historic barn burns to the ground in the middle of the night, Chief of Police Kate Buckholder is called to investigate. At first, it looks like an accident, but when the body of an 18-year-old Daniel Gedrich is found inside, burned alive, Kate suspects murder. Who would want a well-liked, hard-working young Amish man dead? Kate delves into the investigation only to find herself stonewalled by the community to which she once belonged. Is their silence a result of the Amish tenet of separation, or is this peaceful and deeply religious community conspiring to hide a truth no one wants to talk about? See what happens. Smoke! Smoke! Where is you? Mark Billingham killing habit. From one of the most consistently entertaining and insightful crime writers working today, Gillian Flynn, The Killing Habit again brings together wild card detective Tom Thorne and straight-laced D.I. Nicole Turner on a pair of high-stakes cases. D.I. Nicole Turner is back on the job after the traumatic murder of her partner in Love Like Blood, while Tana investigates a homicide connection to the deadly spread of a new synthetic drug. Thorne has handled a case he doesn't at first take too seriously, a spate of animal killings, but just as Tanner's case is complicated by an unexpected confession, Thorne starts to believe that the disconcerting patterns of death he's been assigned to might indicate something even more sinister. Get to it. The Cabin at the End of the World. 7-year-old Wen and her parents, Eric and Andrew, are vacationing at a remote cabin on a quiet lake in the northern hemisphere, a handful of miles from the Canadian border, far removed from the bustle of city life, cut off from the urgent of cell phones and the internet. They are more than 2 miles away from their closest neighbors in either direction, along an old dirt logging road. On a cloudless summer day, as Wen catches grasshoppers in the front yard, a stranger unexpectedly appears. Leonard is the largest man Wen has ever seen, but he is young, 24 and a half years old. He tells her, and friendly with a warm and wide smile that wins her over almost instantly. Leonard and Wen continue to talk and play until 3 more strangers, 2 women and a man, all dressed like Leonard in jeans and button-down shirts, come down the road carrying strange, menacing objects. I don't get it. I don't get it. Miss Maycomer. Cottage by the Sea. A seaside town and electric community help one young woman reclaim the light after darkness in a brand new novel from Debbie Maycomer. Annie Marlowe has been through the worst, rocked by tragedy, that she heads to one of the one place that makes her happy, Oceanside in the Pacific Northwest, the destination of many family vacations when Annie was a teenager. Once there, Annie begins to restore her broken spirit, thanks in part to the folks she meets. A local painter, Keaton, whose large frame is equal to his big heart, who helps Annie fix up her rental cottage by the sea. Melly, the reclusive, prickly landlord Annie is determined to befriend, and Britt, a teenager with a terrible secret. But it is Keaton to whom Annie feels most drawn. His quiet, peaceful nature offers both comfort and reprieve from her grief, and the two begin to grow closer. We'll see what happens. Smoke! Alright, we found the co-host for a few minutes. We don't know how long she's going to stay, but she's here for now. So, Heather Graham, pale as death. Crime scene is horrific. The corpse of a young actress drained of blood and a cut into LAPD Detective Sophie Manning's new case is high profile and difficult. There's no evidence to work with, and it's a disturbing echo of the infamous Black Dahlia killing. Sophie is burning the candle at both ends, desperate to catch the murderer before he strikes again, when she starts to experience inexplicable visits from a ghost. Bruce McFadden has a particular talent that can help Sophie. He can speak with the dead. As a consultant for the FBI's paranormal team, the crew of hunters, he's been asked with Sophie's case, and they're forced to partner up. But Sophie doesn't want his help, and she doesn't want to share his particular skill. They could have done a better cover, though, I think. I don't know. It's not very enticing. The story sounds good. Speaking with the dead, of course, Anita Blake. And have you seen the new TV show Ghost? Well, someone else likes it. I did read a couple of these. She's in the Roman times. Early Roman. She's a detective. I read the first 3 or 4 books and then forgot about it, but they're on my channel, so check them out. We'll have to get back to it. It's a really long series. There's 2 of them, actually. There's a guy version, too. This is Flavia's. This is the girl that I first read. First century Rome is not the quiet, ordinary place that it pretends to be. And this environment, a very clever pirate informer can thrive. Flavia Abea, daughter of Marcus Dibius Falco, is a chip off the old block. She's taken over her father's old profession, and like him, she occasionally lets her love of a good puzzle get in the way of her better judgment. She is in a situation when a case is brought to her by the very hostile ex-wife of Albia's new husband. It seems that over on the Quino Hill, a native young girl, one Claudia Volumia, has died, and there's a suggestion that she was poisoned by a love potion. The local witch Pandora would have been the one to supply such a potion. Looking into the matter, Albavia soon learns that Pandora carries on a public trade in herbal beauty products while keeping a hidden her much more dangerous connections. Murder or accident? And my co-host has left. She has left. So, what series am I reading now? Can you tell? Alright. Corpse at Crystal Palace. April 1928, the Honorable Daisy Dara Maple Fletcher is visited by London by her young cousin, and on their list of must-see sites in the famous Crystal Palace, built originally in 1851 for the Great Exhibition, is now a popular destination set in a park perfect for family outings and featuring a display of monstrous dinosaur sculptures. Upon discovering that her children's nanny, Miss Gilpin, has never even seen the palace, Daisy decides to make a day of it, bringing her cousins, her 3-year-old twins, her daughter Belinda, the nursery maid, and Nanny Gilpin. But this ordinary outing soon goes away when Miss Gilpin retires to the ladies' room and fails to return. When Daisy goes to look for her, she doesn't find her nanny, but instead the body of a stranger, also dressed in a nanny's uniform. Meanwhile, Belinda and her cousin spot Mrs. Gilpin chasing after yet another nanny. Intrigued, they trail the two to the vast Crystal Palace and into the park, and after briefly losing them, they stumble upon Miss Gilpin lying unconscious in a small lake inhabited by huge concrete dinosaurs. When she comes to, Miss Gilpin can't remember what happened after she left the twins in the nursery maid's care. Daisy's husband, Detective Chief Inspector Fletcher of Scotland Yard, finds himself embroiled in the investigation of a murdered nanny, and worried about her children's own injured nanny, Daisy is determined to help. There's a lot going on there. We started this. We started this series. This is Kendra, right? Is this Kendra? Yep. This is Kendra. We started this series. Read the first 2 or 3. We need to get back to it, but we started this one. Formerly blind and now hired gun for law enforcement agencies that rely on her razor-sharp powers of observation is the reluctant to help with FBI, the most recent case they brought to her. But when she hears the details, the body was found just blocks away from Kendra's condo. The woman was carrying an envelope with Kendra's name on it, and inside a flash drive with what appears to be an innocuous video of a wedding reception. The woman died trying to get the video to Ken, but for what purpose? Before Kendra and the FBI can answer that question, the bride is abducted from her home. So the hunt is on for a killer whose nightmarish plan is slowly becoming clear. A plan that involves a powerful law firm and a multi-billion-dollar corporation. As the body count rises, Kendra joins forces with private investigator Jesse Mercado and agent for hire Adam Lynch to stop the plot. Is her and Adam still in the bedroom situation? I have to check that out. Alright. Wait, let's get a few of these before we get to mine. Aunt Dimity and the King's Ransom. On a dull and dreary October day, Laurie Shepherd and her husband Bill set off for the historic town of Rye on the southeast coast of England for a quiet weekend together without the kids. But Bill must first pay a visit to a reclusive client, but after Laurie drops him off, a powerful storm drives her off the course and leaves her stranded in an ancient rambling inn called the King's Ransom. When Laurie is spooked by ghostly noises in the night, Aunt Dimity reminds her rather tartly that not all ghosts intend to harm the living. But the longer Laurie is stuck at the inn, the stranger things seem. She learns that the inn was once a hangout for smugglers, and that it's riddled with secret tunnels the smugglers used to reach a network of hidden coves. Then there's the inn's cook, a brawny Guff ex-con who seems to have a beef with a mysterious French guest. And the noises Laurie hears made by spirits of long-dead smugglers, or should they be of the inn's current inhabitants? The sea. I don't know. Yellow doesn't do very good on screen. It never has. I tried to do her tourist series. There was no tourist in her tourist series. It didn't make a hill of beans of sense, and the relationships didn't make a hill of beans of sense. You'll have to go watch my videos. Killer Green Tomatoes. A farm to fork mystery. To Angie, nothing tastes more like summer than her Nona fried tomatoes. Eager to get the recipe to the menu at the country seat, she's found the perfect produce supplier. Her sous chef Steve's Ebby's cousin Javier. Just one problem. Ladies' man Javier's current hot tomato Heather has turned up dead, and he's the prime suspect. Okay. Oh, there are tomatoes on the cover. Okay, I was gonna say I'd put tomatoes on the cover. Alright, most of these other ones, let's see what this one is. Alright, let's do this other one. Then the last few are mine. Poppy Harmon investigates Lee Hollis. When Poppy goes from complacent retiree to penniless widow in a matter of weeks, the idea of spending her golden years at the biggest charity case in Palm Springs renders her speechless. With no skills and nothing left to lose, Poppy uses her obsession with a true crime show to start a career as a private eye. We may read this. After opening the Desert Flowers Detective Agency with help from her two best friends, Violet and Iris, Poppy realizes that age brings wisdom, not business, until she convinces her daughter's handsome boyfriend, Matt, to pose as the face of the agency. It's not long before Matt's irresistible act snags a client desperate to retrieve priceless jewelry, burglarized from an aging actress at the Palm Life Retirement Village, on or before Poppy stumbles upon the bloody body of the victim's arch rival. Alright, now these last few, I've read them all. I've done videos on all of them. Well, maybe not this one because it's not the MLLERYs. We've done the MLLERYs. So, Angelica Reseda. If you've not heard me go off and off and off about Angelica Reseda and Antonio and Angelica and all the cooking these people do. It's like Krista Davis's the Diva series. She just pulls odds and ends out of her little old fridge and puts a gourmet meal together. And I made the mistake of saying that to the wrong person, because for me, if I go to my fridge right now, this hot dogs, cheese, a couple of cold cuts, that's about it. Milk, orange juice. These ladies pull out a loin of pork or asparagus or fancy stuff that they put a meal together like this. Cheese crackers, gourmet cheese, whatever. And this lady goes, well, I have a loin of pork in my refrigerator now. It's like, oh well, sorry. Alright, so Lorna Barrett, A Poison Pages. So go check out my Lorna Barrett series. Trisha Miles, a mystery bookstore owner in Amethyst Loose, throws a housewarming cocktail party in her new apartment. She even cooks all the food herself, which is quite a feat for someone who previously could not boil water. But when one of her guests is fatally poisoned, Trisha is left to wonder if her cooking is too to blame, or is there something much more sinister at play. Either way, she is once again in hot water with her ex-lover, Chief Baker. Oh, I forgot about Chief Baker. Ooh, the guy. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The guy turns evil at the end. He turns evil. He turns really evil. Alright, you need to go watch all my videos on all of these books. This series. Especially these two over here while we're thinking about it. So, if you haven't seen my time travel, then, go watch it. They are the best. The best. Caught in Time. Is this book 1? It's either 1 or 2. It's close. No, book 3. Book 3. So, you've got to check this series out. You have to check this series out. It's freaking awesome. So go watch my Time Travel Delirious book series and my Time Travel If Then. I'm raving the crap out of these books. There is only one place that Kendra Donovan truly wants to go, is back to the 21st century. Yeah, not so fast. She's falling in love. But since that's not happening, she agrees instead to travel with her new guardian, the Duke of Albridge, to one of his smaller estates in Lancashire. There, their journey takes them through Yorkshire, a region whose breathtaking beauty masks a simmering violence brought on by the Industrial Revolution, where pits mill owner against worker. When Kendra and the Duke encounter a band of Luddites on a lonely, fog-shrouded road, the Duke informs the authorities in the nearby village of East Stingford that mischief may have been done that night. However, it is murder they discover at the mill, where the body of the mill manager, Mr. Stone, is found brutally bludgeoned to death in his office. The constable is certain that the radical-minded Luddites committed the murder, but one look at the crime scene tells Kendra they didn't, prompting the Duke to shock the locals by volunteering their services to catch the real killer. As a special agent for the FBI, Kendra thought she'd encountered every kind of evil, but when another, even more vicious murderer rocks Dingleford, Kendra realizes they're dealing with a stone-cold killer. I love these books. I absolutely love these books. Oh, we did Miss Barrett already. We did Miss LYNN, Angelica Resita, the cooking. If you have not watched my Gilded series, we do Gilded If Then, and we do all of these books, all of them as they come out. After a disappointing year as a society columnist for the Herald and staying with her more well-heeled Vanderbilt relatives in New York City, Emma has returned to the salty air, glittering ocean vistas, and grandly stately mansions of Newport, Rhode Island, more determined than ever to report on hard news. She really wants to report on the hard news, but her editor wants her to stay with the social stuff. But for now, she's covering the social event of the season at the Okra Court, a coming-out ball designed to showcase Cleo Cooper Smith, who will be literally on display, fittingly as Cleopatra in an elaborate votive veton. Recently installed modern electricity will allow Miss Cooper Smith to shine, but as the ascends to her place of honor, the ballroom is plunged into darkness. When the lights come back on, Cleo sits on her throne, electrocuted to death. Quickly establishing that the wiring was tampered with, Emma now has a murderer to investigate. But the array of eligible suspects could fill another ballroom, from a shady New York real estate developer to a neglected sister and mother of a spurned suitor. Just gotta find the murderer. Go check them out. We read them all. Alright, if you have not seen my Joanna, Lindsay, MLLERY versus Bridgerton, go check it out. The MLLERY's was a really, really short series. It could have gone on for at least 1 or 2 more books, but it didn't. And the last book kind of felt kind of forced, so maybe she wasn't into the MLLERY's anymore. We don't know. But if you haven't seen my Sinsters series, check out my Sinsters. There is nobody better than the Sinsters. CYNSTERS, Sinsters. But anyway, every now and then, Miss Lindsay does a standalone, and that's what this is. It's a standalone. Marry Me by Sundown. Summoned back to Philadelphia from the social world in London, Violet Mitchell never expected to find her brothers living on the edge of financial ruin while their father seeks a new wealth in Montana's goldfields. With the family's home and social standing at risk, Violet makes a drastic decision. Morgan Callahan rode away from his family cattle ranch to make his own fortune. Now, as he finishes exploiting a motherlode of silver, a young woman claiming to be his late partner's daughter turns up wanting to be taken to her father's mine. Suspecting that the pretty shamer works for the mining outfit that he is trying to steal his land, he has no qualms about snatching her and holding her at his camp where she can do no harm. Morgan underestimated the new thorn in his side, determined to claim what rightly belongs to her. Violet musters the courage and grit and mettle to cope with the hazards and discomforts of untamed land and the disturbingly masculine stranger who holds her fate in his hands. But an error of judgment brings down a hailstorm of calamity and danger that upends her plans and deepens her bond with the man who is not the brilliant match a lady wishes to make, but could be all that a strong, passionate woman desires. And if you've not watched the FBI series, you need to go watch the FBI series. We did them all. We did them all in order. And we even did the Brit ones in between. Sherlock and Savick. And why she decided to end the series so she could do Regencies. She was getting into I don't know, she wanted to do happier Regency type situations. So it's The Heir of Somebody is out recently. We'll check that out soon. So let's see, an escaped mental patient obsessed with revenge in the next installment of a riveting FBI series. When he fails to kidnap 5-year-old Sean Savick, Agents Sherlock and Savick know they're in his crosshairs and must find him before he continues with his killers. Chief Ty Christie of Wilcott, Maryland, witnesses a murder at dawn from the deck of her cottage on Lake Massey. But dragging the lake, the divers not only find the murder victim, they also discover dozens of bones. Even more shocking is the identification of the unique belt buckle found among the remains. Working together with Chief Christie, Savick and Sherlock soon discover a frightening connection between the bones and the escaped psychopath. Go check out all the videos in these. All of them. So, I wonder what Christy's reading now. Hey, go check out If Then on Fridays. If you like this book, you might like that book. Star Trek Voyager recaps or Star Trek Next Generation recaps. I still need to redo those couple of generations. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I'll try. And Unboxing Sundays, Flashback Mondays, and of course, my daily book reviews. Have a good one.